Hi, welcome back. It's summertime in Maine and it's great for outdoor cooking. And today we are going to use my cowboy wok to make some very quick fried rice. So this is a carbon steel wok. It's very thick, very heavy. It's a little over 2 feet wide. And we have preheated it just to make sure that it's hot enough. And what we'll do is we'll take a little water here and we're gonna see if yes, so when we put water in there, it basically, the drops just kind of dance around and disappear. So our wok is preheated and ready to go. So when you stir fry, which is what we'll be doing with the fried rice, you always have everything lined up and ready to go. So let's start with that. Our protein today is going to be shrimp. And what I've done is I've peeled the shrimp, I've taken the tail off, and I'm taking a nice sharp knife, and I'm just gonna cut it in half the long way. What's nice about a sharp knife is that it cuts where you want it to cut. You don't have to force it. And what this will do is when the shrimp cooks, it will curl into a double helix. So it's kind of cool. So we're going to marinate this shrimp a little bit with a little bit of flavoring. And I'm going to be using a mixture of oils. So I'm going to use ginger and garlic oil. These we got at Rennie's. I'm just going to put just a dash of each for flavoring. Ginger and garlic. Saves me from having to do my usual smashing. And then a little sweetener. I'm going to put in some mirin wine, cooking wine, Japanese cooking wine, which is very sweet. If you don't have mirin wine, you just put maybe a tablespoon of that in there. If you don't have mirin wine, you can use a sweet white wine, and you would add a little bit of sugar with that. So we'll just mix this in, and that's ready for stir frying when the time comes. There we go. So our vegetables, we're going to be putting in a carrot, and what I like to do with the carrot is I roll cut it, and I'm just cutting it at about a 45-degree angle, giving a quarter of a roll each time. And as I get to the skinny end, I can space out my cuts so that they're all about the same size. So that's ready to go. Let's rough chop some or dice up some onions. I'm using a very mild onion, a red onion. If you want a more robust onion, you could use a yellow onion. If you want a milder onion, you could use a Vidalia. Should be fine. There we go. So we got that. I've also got some baby portobellas, and I'm just gonna quarter these guys. Just like that. Those are ready. I'm going to use some Napa cabbage, which is a very mild cabbage. And I'm just going to cut right across the grain on these. Again, having a sharp knife is just awesome. Here we go. That's 2 leaves of that, by the way, in case you were wondering. You could also use bok choy or broccoli are fine there. I've also got some peas and corn, And these were frozen. You want to make sure they're thawed. You don't want to put frozen things into your stir fry. All right. For fried rice, you always want cold leftover rice. So that's what we've got there. This is just plain white rice that was made earlier using my mother's directions. Got some eggs. So let's break those eggs right in here. Scramble those babies up. And the last thing that we'll have is we have some soy sauce. We'll add that towards the end, and as a garnish, we'll use some sesame seeds. Open those. We're definitely heated up here, and with the cowboy wok, you want to be able to keep your distance. So having long-handled utensils is pretty important. So let's start. What we'll do is we'll cook things in the order that we want them to cook longest. So we know the carrots will take a little while to cook. I'm going to take a little bit of my garlic oil. Maybe I'll take both. Garlic and ginger oil. We'll get my carrots ready, and just so you'll kind of know, it's going to be carrots, it's going to be onions, it's going to be the shrimp, then the eggs, then the mushrooms, my corn and peas, my cabbage, and then my rice. We'll just kind of mix all those in. All right, so I'm just going to put in a little bit. This is going to start smoking right away, which is great. We'll throw those in. They will sizzle, I hope. Good. All right. All right. There's cooking. And you can see them. They're browning up right away. Let's throw in the onions. Whoa, popping. Here comes our shrimp. So we're stirring this just to get that oil touching everything. So let's put in our mushrooms next. Doesn't take very long. Maybe like a half a minute or a minute each, depending. All right. Some egg. That hot oil is almost instantly cooking that egg. All right. And let's put in our peas. Yep, a minute. We'll put in our peas and corn. Smells great. All right. So let's put in our cabbage. Just kind of wilt that a little bit. time for some rice. And I'm going to turn this up a little bit. There we go. You want to maintain that sizzling. Just put in like a cup of rice. So let's add some last minute flavor. So this is sesame oil, which gives it a nice nutty flavor. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of sesame oil. Give that a quick stir. And just a touch. You don't want to go too heavy on the soy sauce. It's pretty salty. There we go. And we can shut that off. Good. And finally, just some sesame seeds. And that heat from the wok will just release more of that sesame flavor. All right. And okay, for those of you who noticed that I handled raw shrimp with this, all I'll do is I'll just turn my chopsticks around and I'll use this side to taste. Whoa, hot. But very tasty. You can see the shrimp has kind of curled up when you slice it that way. Holds a lot more flavor. So there you have it. Shrimp fried rice with a cowboy wok. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.